Hello and a very warm welcome to the brand new edition of To The Point. I'm Kriti Mishra, and on today's show we have with us iconic and inspirational Mrs. Deepa Malik.
राजीव गांधी खेल रत्न पुरस्कार 2019 सुश्री दीपा मलिक। पैरालंपिक में पदक जीतने वाली पहली भारतीय महिला सुश्री दीपा मलिक को 2012 में अर्जुन पुरस्कार से सम्मानित किया गया। इन्होंने पैरालंपिक खेल 2016 में रजत पदक शॉट पुट, एशियाई पैरा खेल 2018 में कांस्य पदक जैवलिन थ्रो, एशियाई पैरा खेल 2018 में कांस्य पदक डिस्कस थ्रो में जीता। एशियन ओशियाना चैंपियनशिप 2016 में स्वर्ण और रजत पदक, दुबई आईपीसी वर्ल्ड पैरा एथलेटिक्स में ग्रां-पी में स्वर्ण पदक लेकर रिकॉर्ड कायम किया। सुश्री दीपा मलिक को पैरा एथलेटिक्स में उनकी उत्कृष्ट उपलब्धियों को मान्यता प्रदान करते हुए वर्ष 2019 के लिए राजीव गांधी खेल रत्न पुरस्कार से सम्मानित किया जाता है। सुश्री दीपा मलिक।
Welcome to Sabha Television. You started off Padma Shri, Arjuna Award, and now country's highest sporting honor, the Khel Ratna. How has been the journey?
It's been a journey of growing. It's been a journey of learning. It's been a journey of change that either I have initiated or I have seen it happening around me. In a nutshell, a journey of consistency, a journey of hard work and perseverance, a journey where we all have grown together in the mindsets that have grown towards a positive, the way we look at people in disability. And I think a lot of credit goes to the current atmosphere of the country. My Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji is somebody who has initiated an Accessible India campaign, a focus on Divyang sports, and you're seeing the benefits and the fruits of it.
Ma'am, you mentioned about the Divyang Sports and Accessible India campaign. Prime Minister, of course, suggested that we use the term Divyang for disabled persons. Tell us, is there a perceptible or discernible change in the atmosphere that you see in terms of awareness and attitude of people?
I got paralyzed exactly 20 years ago. It's been 2 decades. Chest below paralysis, and the reactions to the disability that I would see 2 decades ago is definitely changed. It has changed tremendously where you look at the policies, you look at the focus of disabled toilets, you see the focus on infrastructure and efforts to make smart cities. At least there is a deliberation, there is a talk on inclusion. And I think that's what makes me a huge fan of Modi ji. And especially in the physically challenged sports world, you see, when I used to play, I used to be one wheelchair. And now you have to see the ambulant disabled sports persons or the able-bodied disabled persons are like, when will these wheelchairs move away from our way that we can train comfortably? We are so many of us on the track now. So there is a tremendous change.
And in fact, earlier Khel Ratna was not in fact meant for Paralympic or para-athletes.
Yes, the biggest celebration and the joy that is behind this Khel Ratna and receiving it has been that there has been an inclusive approach. And that is what India needs to know, that our sports are not charity sports. We are not a separate category. We are mainstream sports. And I'm so honored that the jury and Rajiv ji, our current sports minister, has honored that fact. We play in the same arena, whether it is Commonwealth Games, Asian Games, Olympic level sport. It's just that we play 2 weeks later because certain arrangements have to be made for making it more accessible for the various disabilities and physical challenges that people have. Otherwise, there's no difference. We also play Olympic level sport, we also play Commonwealth, we play Asian Championship, World Championship, Asian Games. Then what is the difference? In fact, it is more difficult for us. We are shortlisted as per our world rankings, and only the top rankings are invited to play as per quota allocation, because to accommodate so many wheelchair athletes, so many different disability categories are there, it would become a very large number if we start having heats on the same arena. So people think we don't have competition. We have tremendous amount of competition within the country also, because when 4 people qualify, we get 1 quota allocated to go and represent at the Paralympics. Whereas an able-bodied, whoever qualifies the MQS goes.
That's right.
So the funnel is pretty thin for us, and India needs to know that. And I'm glad we are talking on this subject today.
But of course, you've made an indelible mark. Deepa ji, I can look around, this is your house, and I can see
it's a museum.
Plethora of medals. Your house is literally flooded with medals. But what are the challenges? What were the challenges that you had to face all along?
I think the first and foremost was psychological, when I had to rise above my whole disability and the sadness around it, or the perception of the society around it. It was not normal for people to see a mother of 2 with only 1/3 of body left, the rest 2/3 totally paralyzed in a way where the bladder and the bowel is also challenged. So it was a journey that I had to first emotionally stabilize myself. I think motherhood helped when you're a mother of 2 girls, and my elder daughter was herself facing her own set of disability because she had a severe accident as a child, and the left of her body got paralyzed. So people would look at us with a big question mark, that the mother is got paralyzed and the daughter is also suffering. Sadly, they would even connect it genetic. I mean, she had an accident, I had a tumor, the two had no relation, but maybe the Almighty had to give us these challenges. And I'm so happy she herself is doing so well. She's an international accolade winner, and she is such a hardworking person in the field of disability and betterment of people in disability. So I think disability gave us a focus and a direction, and it made us better human beings, more compassionate. Once I had finished dealing with that, the other thing I realized that whatever I did from this body, I was running a restaurant, I was running a home, I was bringing up 2 children, I was packing their tiffins, I had customized my kitchen, my home to suit my activity level. I was honestly doing my rehabilitation and physiotherapy, and yet I was only called dependent and a patient. And that's when, in spite of earning more than my husband by running a restaurant, people would not believe that I was doing it. So I had to take a route where I could leave an impact, and I also realized that if an urban woman, an educated woman is facing these challenges, then what happens to the low middle class families or people with underprivileged background or the rural areas? Then how are they living their life in disability? And my father, I dedicate this Khel Ratna to him. That was his last wish when he passed away last year. So he would always say, Deepa, we called you Deepa, and there's a famous saying that it was always better to light a lamp than to curse the darkness. Mahatma Gandhi said, be the change that you want to see around you. So he says, you are educated, I have given you very good education, and I have made you a very positive thinking girl, and you have always seen your mother working very hard. Then what is stopping you? If you are feeling this, go change it. And that's when I started discovering my potentials, and I think my hobbies. That's why I always say we must have hobbies, all my passions and hobbies, because when you are doing something out of passion, and that is something which gives you joy, you are able to do it better. I loved biking, I loved outdoors, I loved sports, I loved driving, I loved any kind of adventure activity. I'm a very adventurous person. So I started discovering what I could do. I never had legs to walk and had no footsteps to follow. First biker, first swimmer, first rallist, first Asian medalist, World Championship, Paralympic, Khel Ratna. First is interesting, but first comes with a lot of baggage of challenges because you don't know what to do. You just have to find your way. And when you are the first, people don't believe you. There is lack of faith. As it is, there are taboos around disability. Then being a woman. Then being a woman who wants to do adventure activities after age of 35 years. It was difficult convincing. It was very difficult raising funds. It was very difficult asking people to believe in me. Society is changing now. Now you see the impact of social media. When I was struggling, computers had also not even come in. Forget about the iPads or the Androids or or having these all the information on the tips of your finger. So it was challenging, and the biggest challenge used to be I was always up against a diaper. The diaper only lasts you about 4 to 5 hours. So anything that I had to do, I had to finish off within 4 or 5 hours, because you never find an accommodation, you never find a toilet which is accessible, and a lot of homework had to be done. Okay, if I'm going to that office to submit this, or I'm going to go and talk about this issue to this office, will I be able to reach the office? So if the office is on the second floor, then I need 4 people to assist me. So a lot of challenges that probably people will not even fathom or realize because they are walking.
And how did you find your way? You said that it is important to find your way. How did you find your way?
I just followed my heart. I knew that I had set myself on this mission which I call ability beyond disability. And I knew that I had to break stereotypes. I had to tell everybody that a woman, when makes up her mind, doesn't need to be dependent. I'm saying there is a difference between taking help, having a support system, and being dependent. We all are interdependent. Whether even if you are an able-bodied person, you have to be dependent on something or someone. I think if you say that you are even dependent on a plumber or an electrician, but then a woman is always taken as a subject of dependence in a way where she has no identity of her own self. And when she is a physically challenged woman who has no bladder and bowel, she is bound to be totally bedridden and dependent. She cannot do without a male assistance, or you know what I mean. I mean,
yes.
It was a lot of about women empowerment and women empowerment and disability. It was honestly never about sports or winning medals or making records. It was a statement that I wanted to make, a shock treatment that I want to send out in the society. And all these have just been a medium of doing that, because unless you do that, who's going to be interested in you or your words? You're sitting here with me, and I think a huge, huge thank you to media. Media has always applauded and supported, and had that not happened, I would probably have never been able to reach out with my message to the masses.
Talking about your message, tell us more about your mission, Ability Beyond Disability.
It was aimed at creating a new identity for myself. I didn't want to die known as a woman on a wheelchair. I love my chair. I'm very proud of it. In fact, whenever I'm getting a picture clicked, I insist that it is in the frame, because I want people to know that it is this chair, which is a chair on wheels. Wheel is a sign of movement. Why do people say wheelchair bound? I don't understand that language. I am wheelchair liberated. It has given me movement. People wear spectacles for weak eyes. I sit on a chair which makes me move around because I have weak legs. What's the big deal? So this mission was about changing society's perception and at the same time creating more awareness. And I felt that I could share this positivity that I have been brought up with, the strong self-belief system that my parents have imbibed in me, I thought I could become a representation of good parenting. And I have imbibed the same rules on my children, and I have two very beautiful daughters who have also emerged as good citizens. I wanted to change the perception that people like us can't contribute to the country's development. I have given my country several international accolades. That is also a way of patriotism, and a woman in late 40s could do that. So, and also reaching out with awareness. We are doing a lot of workshop in rural areas. I go and speak to children in school. I am a huge advocate of inclusion in the society and accessibility. And every time I win a medal and I get a voice to raise these issues and to make people think about it.
Deepa ji, tell us what goes into the training of a differently abled athlete.
A lot of hard work. Trust me, you have to start making programs on the training sessions of people with disability. See, I am somebody who doesn't have a torso balance also. Now for me to, with 3 severe and major surgeries on my spinal column, vertebrae are chopped to reach the tumors inside. So with this kind of very fragile body, but you have to gain strength because you have to throw a shot put. So for me to balance the body, I need 4 people to hold me. I need the right nutrition. There have been times when I have come home with stool-filled diapers, because when I apply pressure, I don't have control on the stool not moving out or to control my urine. So the moment you start applying pressure, the stool starts moving down. And the other thing is the infrastructure. Wheelchair athlete has to train on special equipments. They need special belts to assist them. So everything had to be created and designed, and a lot of people supported, volunteered their time. They would join me in my training sessions, and we always made it very fun thing, because you know, you are training for something but you're dependent on 4 or 5 people to assist you. You have to get the right coach who understands your disability, because one is training somebody for technique. One is training somebody for the technique, knowing what muscles are working and what is not. What is the limitation of this body? Can this body be pushed beyond a certain point? So getting the right team around you in a time when sports sciences have not yet developed to that level. Today we are talking about supportive sports sciences. We are talking about high performance. That's why I again and again say that the change that I have seen under Narendra Modi ji's leadership, it wasn't there earlier. We were just playing tukke mein. Now we get funding to customize our training, to be able to afford. So when I am playing, I am not just playing with a coach. I have to have a physiotherapist. I have to have a nurse attendant in case my stool leaks out, I need to change a diaper, or I need to do my catheterization. So I need a female always around me. But I need a male also to pick me up and put me on the throw chair. I need 2 people to hold my body while I'm doing the dumbbells. So there has to be a conditioner, biomechanical trainer.
That's right.
So there's a lot that goes into a physically challenged person. And injury management. We people are already disabled due to some non-functionality of a muscle. The blood circulation is so low in my body that warming up also a technique, and that doesn't happen. So we fall into injuries very fast. A lot has to go. I really hope people are listening to this conversation and understanding what it goes for a para athlete to win these medals.
I'm sure, ma'am, but tell us, how do we expand this infrastructure in the disability space so that we have many more achievers?
You'll be very happy to know that the process has already begun, and to best of my knowledge, accessibility assessment has been done on a lot of training centers. We have Bhalgar Sonipat Sai Center, that is wheelchair amicable. There is a lot of modification that has been done. I was part of that process. Nehru Stadium, I was part of that process in New Delhi. Sports Authorities Center in Gandhinagar has totally has Paralympic sports accessibility out there, and 5 new centers are being made for excellence and training for people in disability. A lot of work on infrastructure by way of smart city and urban development is happening. People are seriously implementing and honestly implementing, when they're creating buildings, the universal standards of accessibility. So I'm sure now you all are talking about our sports, jury is applauding our medals, Sports Authority is integrating us in regular training programs. So a lot is happening.
You're an inspiration to perhaps millions, but tell me, who is an inspiration for you?
I think I'll give a lot of credit to the upbringing that my parents have given me. I have seen my mother work hard. I have seen my mother being positive even in the hard times. They saw me through my my childhood first surgery and the first tumor that I had faced. So I have seen them working hard with me. I have felt loved with them. So my father has worked very hard, whether it is education, whether it is my treatments, whether it is supporting me through my second bout of tumors and surgeries. I think I could never let them down. And the second strength has come from my being a mother. I could never let my daughters look at me as a crippled, sad woman. I had to bring up, I had that responsibility of bringing up 2 very responsible citizens of India. And only a happy and active mother could do that.
Absolutely. But tell us, what goes into the environment and how do you actually motivate them?
You're talking about people with
people around, yes.
I don't know, people call me a motivational speaker, but honestly that happened by default, not by design. It was a very tough phase in 2012 when I was out of the London OPEX team. I did not get my quota to go to London Paralympics. So, and that was also the time when our federation was defunct and debarred from the International Paralympic Committee. So it was a very orphaned stage for me as an athlete. No support from the Sports Authority because I had not qualified, and there was a lot of confusion between the International Committee, the Indian Committee and the Sports Ministry. So it was a very lull phase where we had to sustain, and I had already closed down my restaurant and I had moved to Delhi post Commonwealth Games. I never went back. So to look for a place to live, to afford the infrastructure around me, to support me, to learn, to pay for the gym fees, the trainers, the physios, the diet, the rent, the transportation. So I guess fortunately for me, some friends advised me that I could speak about my experiences in the corporate sector, in the schools, in the universities, and that kind of became not just a full-fledged profession for me. It gave me money to sustain my training, because I was very, very clear that I'm not going to take money either from my father, brother, or my father-in-law, my husband. This was one journey I wanted to do on my own, because this was also my way of declaring ability beyond disability, and that is how probably I turned into a motivational speaker. And soon I started feeling that everybody has a set of challenges and they relate to a human story. And I think when we hear each other, we inspire each other, we motivate each other, we relate to each other's issues, and we feel not alone. And when you feel that there is a whole world out there who's with you in these times of challenges, and they're also going through their own, it helps.
But tell us, in your sporting career, how do you manage the transition from one sport to the other?
No, that was crazy. I also thank myself that I was quick to adapt, and that's what I teach the corporates also, that the moment you upgrade, the moment you learn, the moment you adapt to a change, the sooner you adapt. And I think somewhere I owe it to my physical condition and the transition that happened, that in the same year you are a beauty queen, and in the same year you have a body which is paralyzed and looked down upon. So, you know, the parameters change so fast, and so much of a paradox was there that this woman who was an epitome of beauty is nothing but a dead body. So, I think if I could adapt to a transition like that, these transitions were not so big. Difficult, but not impossible.
Khel Ratna done, Arjuna Award done, Padma Shri done. What's the next target for Deepa Malik?
Next target is to give back, to be able to help the sports fraternity in whatever capacity I can, maybe win more medals for my country. Let's see how 21 and 22 events lists, when they come out, if they have my disability category and my sport, maybe I continue to play. Maybe I get another duty assigned to me. I'm willing to do anything to pay back to my sports fraternity, to my country, who has given me so much.
Well, on that note, Deepa ji, it was fabulous talking to you. Thank you so much for talking to Rajya Sabha Television. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.